Welcome back, everyone, to the English Proficiency Podcast. We are absolutely delighted that you have joined us again for another insightful exploration into mastering the English language. In our previous episode, we delved deeply into the art of active listening, a fundamental skill that underpins all effective communication. Today, we shall build upon that foundation by addressing another significant aspect of listening comprehension, navigating the rich tapestry of accents and dialects in global English.
Indeed. English is a truly global language, spoken by billions of people across every continent. With this vast reach comes an incredible diversity in how the language is pronounced. It is not simply a matter of right or wrong pronunciation, but rather a fascinating array of variations that reflect geographical location, cultural background, and even social groups. Understanding and adapting to these variations is a crucial step towards becoming a truly proficient and confident listener.
Many English language learners find understanding different accents to be one of their most significant challenges. You might feel comfortable listening to a British accent, for example, but then struggle immensely with an American or an Australian one. This is a completely normal experience, and it is something that even native speakers sometimes encounter when listening to unfamiliar regional dialects within their own country. Our goal today is to demystify these variations and provide you with actionable strategies.
So, what exactly is the difference between an accent and a dialect? It is an important distinction to make. An accent primarily refers to the way a group of people pronounce words. It encompasses their unique patterns of pronunciation, intonation, stress, and rhythm. For instance, the accent of someone from New York will sound distinct from someone from Texas, even though both are speaking American English. It is mostly about the sound.
A dialect, on the other hand, is a broader concept. It includes not only the unique pronunciation of an accent, but also variations in vocabulary, grammar, and even syntax. For example, in some British English dialect, one might hear words like lift instead of elevator, or grammatical constructions like I am going to the shops, where an American might say I am going to the store. It is a more comprehensive linguistic package.
The existence of these diverse accents and dialects is a natural and fascinating consequence of how languages evolve over time and across geographical distances. Just as a single tree can have many branches, a single language can develop many distinct forms. Historically, communities isolated from one another developed their own unique ways of speaking, and these differences persisted and flourished.
Furthermore, historical events such as colonization and migration have played a massive role in spreading English around the globe and subsequently diversifying its sounds. Consider the distinct development of English in India, South Africa, or the Caribbean. Each region has blended English with elements of local languages and cultures, creating unique and rich accents. This diversity is not a hindrance, but rather an enrichment of the English language itself.
Why is it so important for you, as an English language learner, to develop your ability to understand various accents and dialects? The answer lies in the practical realities of using English in the real world. English is the primary language of international business, academic research, global media, and cultural exchange. You will encounter people speaking English with a wide array of accents in almost any international setting.
If your listening comprehension is limited to only one specific accent, perhaps the one you hear most often from your teacher or in your learning materials, you will find yourself at a significant disadvantage in many real-life situations. Imagine trying to conduct a business meeting with a client from a different country, or attempting to understand a news report from an international broadcaster if you are only familiar with a single pronunciation style.
The ability to understand diverse accents directly impacts your effective communication. It enables you to engage with a wider range of speakers, access a broader spectrum of information, and participate more fully in global conversations. It also builds your confidence, reducing anxiety when confronted with unfamiliar speech patterns. Therefore, today we embark on this essential journey of expanding your auditory horizons.
Common challenges and initial strategies. Let us now turn our attention to some of the common challenges that arise when encountering unfamiliar accents and dialects, and then, crucially, explore some initial, highly effective strategies to overcome them. One of the most frequently cited difficulties is speed. Many accents, or indeed just individual speakers, may speak at a very rapid pace, making it challenging to segment words and grasp meaning.
This perception of speed is often exacerbated by unfamiliarity. When you are accustomed to a particular rhythm and intonation, any deviation from that pattern can make speech sound faster than it truly is. Another challenge lies in differences in vowel and consonant sounds. The same letter or combination of letters can be pronounced quite differently across accents. For example, the vowel sound in bath might be a long ah sound in some British accents, but a short ah sound in American English. Similarly, the R sound might be pronounced at the end of words in American English, but often dropped in many British accents. These subtle yet significant phonetic variations can sometimes lead to confusion or difficulty in recognition.
Furthermore, accents often involve different rhythm and stress patterns. English is a stress-timed language, meaning that some syllables are emphasized more than others, and this emphasis can shift across accents. The rhythm of a sentence can also vary, with some accents sounding more staccato and others more flowing. These prosodic features are as important as individual sounds for comprehension.
So, how do we begin to tackle these challenges systematically? The first and arguably most fundamental strategy is exposure. Exposure, exposure. You simply must immerse yourself in the sounds of various accents. This means actively seeking out and regularly listening to audio and video content featuring different English accents. Do not confine yourself to just one type of English. If you primarily listen to British English, make a conscious effort to incorporate American, Australian, Canadian, Irish, and even non-native accents into your listening practice. The internet provides an unparalleled resource for this, with countless podcasts, YouTube channels, news broadcasts, and online lectures from all corners of the English-speaking world.
Start small. You do not need to understand every single word immediately. The initial goal is simply to familiarize your ears with the unique sounds, rhythms, and intonations of different accents. Think of it as training your auditory muscles. The more you expose yourself, the more your auditory system will adapt and recognize these new patterns.
A very practical technique is to choose a specific accent you wish to focus on and then dedicate a period of time, perhaps a week or two, to listening predominantly to that accent. Find a podcast series, a specific news channel, or a television show that features that accent consistently. This focused exposure can accelerate your acclimatization.
Another effective strategy is to focus on the overall context and main idea rather than getting bogged down by every single word you do not recognize. When listening to an unfamiliar accent, it is easy to become overwhelmed by individual sounds. However, remember that communication is often redundant. There are many clues in the surrounding words and the general topic that can help you infer meaning.
Practice active prediction. Before listening to a segment, think about what the topic might be and what kind of vocabulary you might expect to hear. As you listen, use these predictions and the context to fill in any gaps created by unfamiliar pronunciations. This proactive approach engages your brain and enhances comprehension even with challenging accents.
Furthermore, cultivate a patient and non-judgmental attitude. It is easy to become frustrated when you struggle to understand an accent. However, frustration hinders learning. Approach each new accent with curiosity rather than apprehension. Recognize that it is a natural part of language variation and that your brain needs time to adjust.
Remember that even native speakers sometimes struggle with very strong regional dialects from their own country. Your journey is about expanding your linguistic capabilities, and patience is a virtue in this process. Celebrate small victories, such as understanding a key phrase or a main point in an accent you previously found challenging. This positive reinforcement is crucial for maintaining motivation.
Let us now dive deeper into some specific features of various prominent accents and how understanding these can directly enhance your listening comprehension. While there are countless accents, we can focus on some broader categories that illustrate common differences. Consider the distinction between General American English and Received Pronunciation, RP, often considered a standard British accent.
One of the most noticeable differences lies in the pronunciation of the R sound. General American English is rhotic, meaning the R sound is pronounced when it appears after a vowel, e.g. in car, hard, water. Received pronunciation, however, is largely non-rhotic, meaning the R sound is often dropped in these positions, e.g. in ka, had, water. Understanding this single feature can unlock comprehension for many words.
Another key difference is in certain vowel sounds. For instance, the A sound in words like bath, dance, or class is typically a short A sound in General American English, similar to the A in cat. In RP, these words often feature a longer, more open A sound, similar to the A in father. This is a common identifier for these accents.
Moving to Australian English, you will notice that it shares some similarities with British English, often being non-rhotic, but it has distinct vowel sounds that can be quite challenging for new listeners. For example, the vowel sound in day or mate can be quite high and pronounced almost like die or might to an unfamiliar ear. Also, the I sound in words like fish can sound more like fish.
Irish English, particularly from regions like Dublin, has its own unique melodic quality and distinct vowel pronunciations. The th sound, for example, can sometimes be pronounced closer to a T or D sound, as in tree for three. The rhythm can also be quite different from American or British English, often with a more uniform stress pattern.
So, how do you actively practice recognizing and adapting to these specific phonetic differences? One highly effective method is minimal pair exercises. These involve listening to pairs of words that differ by only one sound, where that sound is a key differentiator between accents. For example, listening to car, American, versus ka, British, or dance, American short A versus dance, British long A.
Many online resources and language learning applications offer audio examples of minimal pairs across different accents. Actively listening and trying to distinguish these subtle differences trains your ear to pick up on the specific phonetic shifts. This deliberate practice hones your auditory discrimination skills.
Another excellent practice technique is shadowing. This involves listening to a short audio clip in a target accent and then immediately trying to repeat what you hear, mimicking the pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm as closely as possible. You are not just listening, you are actively engaging your mouth and mind with the sounds.
Shadowing forces you to pay extremely close attention to the nuances of the accent. It helps you to bridge the gap between what you hear and how you would produce those sounds, making you more attuned to the subtle features. Start with short sentences or phrases and gradually increase the length and complexity of the material.
Additionally, utilize transcription exercises. Select a short audio clip featuring an unfamiliar accent and try to write down every single word you hear. This extremely focused exercise forces you to slow down your listening process and pay attention to every sound. It will quickly reveal which specific sounds or word connections are causing you difficulty.
Do not be discouraged if you miss words or make errors during transcription. The purpose of the exercise is to identify your weak spots. Afterward, compare your transcription with the actual script if available, or listen multiple times. This detailed analysis is invaluable for improving your auditory accuracy for challenging accents.
Understanding intonation, stress, and connected speech. Beyond individual vowel and consonant sounds, mastering comprehension of diverse accents also requires a keen understanding of intonation, stress, and connected speech. These prosodic features are often more challenging to grasp than individual sounds, but they convey immense meaning and are critical for fluent comprehension.
Intonation refers to the rise and fall of the voice when speaking. It is the melody of speech. Different accents can have different intonation patterns for questions, statements, or expressing emotions like surprise or certainty. For example, some accents might use a consistently rising intonation at the end of statements, which might sound like a question to an ear accustomed to a falling intonation.
Word stress is the emphasis placed on a particular syllable within a word. For example, present versus present. Sentence stress is the emphasis placed on specific words within a sentence to convey particular meaning or importance. While English is generally a stress-timed language, the specific words that are stressed and the degree of that stress can vary subtly across accents. For instance, in some accents, content words, nouns, main verbs, adjectives, adverbs, are always strongly stressed, while function words, prepositions, articles, conjunctions are reduced. In other accents, there might be a more even distribution of stress or different patterns depending on the context. Paying attention to what words are emphasized can reveal the speaker's main message.
Perhaps one of the biggest hurdles for learners, and often a key reason why native speech sounds so fast, is connected speech. This refers to the way words are pronounced when they're linked together in a continuous flow rather than being spoken in isolation. Sounds often change, disappear, or merge at word boundaries.
Common phenomena in connected speech include elision, where sounds are omitted. For example, fish and chips often sounds like fish and chips. Assimilation, where sounds change to become more like neighboring sounds. For example, don't ya often sounds like don't ya. And linking R, where an R sound is inserted between words in non-rhotic accents for smoother flow. For example, idea are of.
These aspects of connected speech are highly accent-dependent. The way words link together in a fast-paced Scottish accent might be very different from how they link in a slow, clear Canadian accent. This is why simply knowing individual words is often not enough. You must train your ear to recognize words within the continuous stream of natural speech.
To practice understanding intonation, stress, and connected speech, focus on listening to entire phrases and sentences rather than individual words. Try to hear the rhythm and the melody of the sentence. Is it a question? Is it expressing strong emotion? How do the words seem to flow into one another?
Use listening materials that provide transcripts. Listen to the audio while reading the transcript, paying close attention to how the written words sound when spoken, particularly at word boundaries. Notice where the speaker speeds up, where they pause, and which words they emphasize. This visual aid can greatly enhance your auditory recognition.
After listening with the transcript, try listening again without it. See if you can now hear the connected speech phenomena you identified. This repeated exposure and active attention to these subtle features will gradually attune your ear to the natural flow of spoken English in various accents. Your listening brain is constantly adapting.
Practical exposure, immersion, and long-term strategies. To truly become adept at navigating the vast landscape of global English accents and dialects, systematic, consistent, and varied exposure is not just a recommendation, it is an absolute necessity. You must proactively seek out opportunities to immerse yourself in the authentic sounds of the language as it is spoken around the world.
One of the most effective long-term strategies is to diversify your media consumption. Do not just watch one type of television show or listen to one news channel. Seek out news channels from different English-speaking countries. For example, BBC News, CNN, ABC Australia, CBC Canada. Watch films and television series produced in various English-speaking regions. The more variety, the better.
Explore podcasts that feature hosts or guests from different regions. This format is particularly excellent for listening practice because it is often solely audio-based, forcing you to rely entirely on your auditory comprehension without visual cues. Look for interview-based podcasts where speakers naturally interact
exposing you to spontaneous conversation.
Actively seek out online lectures and educational content from universities or institutions in different English-speaking countries. This not only exposes you to various accents, but also to academic and professional vocabulary, which is often pronounced clearly but within the framework of a specific regional accent. Whenever possible, engage in conversations with native speakers from diverse backgrounds. This can be through language exchange partners, online communities, or if you have the opportunity, by traveling. Real-time, interactive conversation is one of the most dynamic ways to hone your listening skills, as it involves active participation and immediate feedback.
Do not be afraid to politely ask for clarification if you do not understand something due to an accent. Phrases like, "Could you please repeat that?" Or, "Could you say that in a different way?" Or, "I apologize, could you clarify that word?" are perfectly acceptable and demonstrate your commitment to understanding. Most native speakers will be very understanding and happy to help.
Another powerful long-term strategy is to focus on minimal pairs for specific difficult sounds within accents. For example, if you consistently struggle with the difference between the vowel sounds in caught and caught in American English, find targeted exercises that contrast these sounds. Isolate the sounds that cause you the most confusion and dedicate specific practice time to them. Utilize phonetic charts and resources that map out the International Phonetic Alphabet, IPA, sounds common to various English accents. Understanding the precise articulation of a sound can sometimes help your brain to better recognize it when heard. This academic approach can supplement your extensive listening practice.
Remember the principle of gradual exposure and increasing challenge. Start with accents that are relatively easy for you to understand, and gradually introduce more challenging ones. Begin with slower-paced speakers, then move to faster ones. Listen to short clips initially, then build up to longer broadcasts or discussions. This progressive approach prevents overwhelm.
Finally, maintain a growth mindset. Understanding diverse accents is a skill that develops over time with consistent effort and exposure. There will be days when you feel frustrated, but every listening experience, even a challenging one, is building your ear's capacity for recognition and adaptation. Celebrate your progress and remain persistent.
You are not merely learning a language. You are learning to navigate its global manifestations, making you a truly versatile and effective communicator. This ability to understand a wide range of accents is a hallmark of advanced English proficiency and opens up a world of opportunities.
Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey through the world of English accents and dialects. We sincerely hope that the strategies and insights shared today will empower you to listen with greater confidence and comprehension.
Join us next time as we shift our focus from listening to the equally vital skill of speaking, and we explore ways to enhance your spoken English fluency and accuracy.
Until then, keep listening, keep practicing, and keep embracing the incredible diversity of English. Farewell.
Goodbye for now.